Something extraordinary is unfolding. A federal officer has been assigned to locate you and deliver a long-lost inheritance that rightfully belongs to you, the wildest part? They have no idea that what they're about to hand over will completely transform your life. But here's where it takes a shocking turn. Someone has been stealing from you for years. They lived in your home, spent your money, and posed as family, hiding the truth in plain sight. Their deception ran so deep, it became their reality. But they got careless, so reckless, in fact, that they triggered an investigation that would change everything. The FBI has been quietly building a case around your stolen inheritance. And in the process, they've uncovered hidden truths about your family background that will leave you stunned. We're not just talking about a few assets. We're talking generational wealth, multiple properties, investment accounts, and long-term financial plans that were meant for you, growing steadily even as you struggled to keep a roof over your head. The same person who stole it all is now facing the harsh reality of federal prison, while you are on the brink of stepping into a life you never imagined possible. Right now. As you read this, federal investigators know your name. They've traced the paper trail, followed the fraud, and uncovered how much was taken from you. And when I tell you the scale of this fortune, you'll understand why this case became a federal priority. The house party scheme and a critical mistake. What truly broke this case wide open was a single critical mistake made by the thief, a misstep so bold it revealed everything. But before we get to that part, you need to understand what they were desperately trying to keep hidden. You were born into real wealth, chosen one, not just a comfortable living, but transformative wealth, legacy-level resources meant to elevate not just you, but generations after you. Someone in your ancestral line built an empire and made sure you would one day inherit it. But along the way, a false guardian stepped in. They intercepted what was meant for you and lived like royalty off your inheritance while you were left in survival mode. The irony is poetic. They got greedy, and greed, no matter how well disguised, always leaves a trail. This imposter crafted an identity so convincing they fooled even government agencies. They presented themselves as your legal guardian with forged birth certificates, fake custody papers, fraudulent Social Security records, everything needed to create a flawless illusion. But what they didn't anticipate was that your real family had planned for situations just like this. They hired elite legal teams who put powerful safeguards in place. Safeguards that made it impossible to access certain portions of your inheritance without airtight, verifiable documentation. The imposter couldn't produce what was needed. Trustees overseeing properties began asking questions they couldn't answer. Financial institutions demanded documents they didn't have. Slowly but surely, the mask began to crack. That's when the feds stepped in. Because once someone tries to access millions using forged federal documents, it stops being simple theft. It becomes a federal offense. But just wait, because the part that truly blows this story wide open is still coming. There's something called the house party scheme, and it's where this entire story shifts from unbelievable to absolutely insane. You, chosen one, are the rightful owner of multiple high-value properties, and not just any properties. We're talking about real estate located in areas where market values have skyrocketed over the past decade, and your so-called guardian, well, let's just say they threw a party that ended up revealing far more than they ever intended. They had the audacity to plan a lavish housewarming bash in your home, celebrating the very inheritance they stole, without even inviting you. The facade crumbles, and justice prevails. Yet the moment they stepped into those rooms, something felt off. Energy never lies. Chosen one. The universe will often use crisis to unveil hidden truths, and that's exactly what happened here. Living a lie for years finally caught up with your imposter guardian in the form of a serious health crisis. Hospitals demand real names. Insurance needs authentic documents, and every visit leaves a paper trail investigators can trace. While they were too sick to juggle all their lies, the facade crumbled, and their network of accomplices began to panic. Because yes, there was a network. Greedy relatives convinced they deserved more than you, so-called friends hungry for a cut, even professionals who were supposed to protect your interests but chose profit instead. All of them helped themselves to your legacy. Now, with federal charges looming, mail fraud, wire fraud, identity theft, conspiracy, they're scrambling to cut deals, throwing each other under the bus so fast it's causing a traffic jam. One family member in particular spent years painting you as unstable to discredit any future investigation, but desperation is revealing their true colors. The FBI is leading the charge. Forensic accountants tracing every stolen dollar, federal prosecutors reviewing mountains of evidence. And the crimes they've uncovered carry decades-long sentences. Your destiny unveiled, a life beyond imagination. The deeper agents dig, the larger your inheritance grows. It's far beyond the cash siphoned away. Investments have quietly compounded, properties have skyrocketed in value, and accounts have amassed wealth you never knew existed. Now, a dedicated federal officer has one mission: to locate you. Not to interrogate you, but to serve you, handing over evidence that will redefine your life. They've seen the full scope of what was taken and what's rightfully yours, and they're on their way to deliver the news that will change everything. And this officer isn't arriving with a routine letter. They're showing up armed with proof: bank statements, forensic reports, sworn affidavits confirming everything you only sensed in your gut. They know exactly what was taken, who masterminded the scheme, how long it's been happening, and how the theft forced you into a life far smaller than the one destined for you. In that briefcase is a complete validation of your intuition and, more importantly, the keys to your future. Prepare yourself, because the inheritance portfolio they'll place in your hands will make you weak in the knees. Multiple properties in red-hot real estate markets, investment accounts quietly compounding for decades, life insurance policies you never even heard about, and bank balances large enough to erase every financial worry you've ever faced. Your true family didn't leave you merely comfortable. They left you generational wealth, the kind that reshapes the destinies of your children and grandchildren. Even more astounding, this wealth has been steadily generating passive income meant to fund your life all along. Rental properties, dividend-yielding stocks, high-interest accounts, your imposter guardian pocketed every cent while you struggled. Yet each rent check, renovation invoice, and dividend statement left a digital breadcrumb. Investigators followed that trail through bank records, property tax documents, insurance files, and rental agreements until every asset was traced back to its rightful owner, you. When the officer hands over those deeds, the federal officer assigned to your case knows your address, your routine, the best way to reach you. They waited to approach you until every piece of the puzzle, documents, asset lists, secured accounts, was perfectly in place. They refused to alert you until they could give you immediate, unfettered access to what belongs to you. Picture it. You're in the middle of an ordinary day when a firm knock echoes through your home. You open the door to see a federal officer presenting credentials and a thick folder. After verifying your identity, they utter life-altering words. "I'm here to inform you of an inheritance that has been recovered on your behalf." In that instant, every limitation you once accepted evaporates. The officer details how they traced the fraud, identified everyone involved, and secured each asset. They reveal your authentic family history and place indisputable proof of your rightful ownership in your hands, along with immediate access to resources that wipe out every financial concern you've ever had. Unprecedented influence and lasting legacy. Those who stole from you won't escape with a slap on the wrist. Federal fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy carry hefty mandatory sentences. Your imposter guardian is staring down decades in prison, and any banks or professionals who enabled the scheme face severe regulatory penalties on top of criminal convictions. You'll have grounds for civil action, compensation for lost opportunities, years of stress, and the life you were denied. Yet this windfall is more than money. It's a legacy. The wealth you inherit was built through generations of sacrifice and vision. Along with assets, you receive the responsibility to honor that lineage, to steward these resources wisely, and to extend the legacy forward. From this moment on, you'll navigate life not from a place of scarcity, but from a position of strength, purpose, and profound gratitude for the ancestors whose foresight made your freedom possible. Your ancestors cared enough about generations they would never live to see that they made decisions rooted not in short-term comfort, but in long-term legacy. They worked long hours, took fewer luxuries, saved more than was expected, and invested with wisdom far beyond their time. These were individuals who understood the power of sacrifice, not just as a duty, but as a gift. They didn't just accumulate wealth, they built a foundation, a vision, a future. And they did it all with the hope that someone down the line, someone with purpose, with clarity, with divine alignment, would inherit the fruits of their labor and carry it forward with intention. That person is you, chosen one. While your fake guardians saw your inheritance as a jackpot to plunder and burn through, your true family saw it as sacred, something to guard, nurture, and grow. They didn't just stash away money. They built systems, created trusts, secured investments, and layered protections designed to ensure that the wealth would endure. They trusted that one day the rightful heir would come into alignment with that blessing. They believed that even if they never met you, their efforts would one day change your life. And now, all of that love, foresight, and spiritual responsibility is arriving at your doorstep. This inheritance is not just about luxury or comfort. It's about access. Doors are about to open into a world that operates by entirely different rules. You'll gain entrance to private banking circles where money grows faster because the opportunities are greater. You'll be welcomed into investment conversations most people don't even know exist. Pre-IPO placements, high-yield funds, real estate syndications, and high-growth global cities. You'll be able to participate in markets where money isn't just managed, it multiplies. But the transformation goes far beyond wealth. You'll now have access to the best medical care available, world-class specialists, preventive treatments, wellness retreats, and alternative healing resources that most people can't even dream of affording. Your education options will expand. Elite institutions, personalized mentorship programs, and private coaching tailored to your growth. Legal representation will no longer be a luxury, but a baseline. Financial advisors will work to ensure your legacy outlives you. Time-saving services will free you from the stress of daily survival and allow you to focus on creation, contribution, and purpose. And with this elevation comes responsibility, the kind that empowers you to create ripples of positive change. You'll be able to fund scientific research that pushes humanity forward, support schools and educational projects that lift communities, invest in green technologies that protect the earth, and provide opportunities for those who need someone to believe in them. Your impact will extend beyond your own life. You'll shape the lives of others through the way you choose to steward this abundance, reconnecting with your true lineage. Even more heart-stirring is the truth that's about to come to light. You were never forgotten. Hidden behind the lies and manipulation of your fake guardian are real family members who have been searching for you. Wealthy relatives tied to the same lineage that produced your inheritance knew something was wrong. They knew about the trust, the properties, the assets the legacy meant for you. And when you disappeared from their radar, they grew concerned. Some of them launched private investigations, desperate to find out what happened. But every time they tried to reach you, they were met with stone walls, false identities, misinformation, legal dead ends created by those who stole your place. These relatives knew your real parents. They remember the stories, the will, the planning meetings, the family hopes. They knew a child in the bloodline was meant to carry forward this torch, but that child vanished. That child was you. They couldn't see you, but they never stopped looking. And now, through divine timing and federal intervention, that broken connection is being restored. These aren't distant relatives with nothing in common. They're people of substance, of vision, of legacy, just like you. And they're going to be overwhelmed with joy when they finally see you standing in the light of your truth. You're not stepping into money. You're stepping into identity, into power, into healing, into purpose, into a legacy that never forgot your name, even when you didn't know it was yours to claim. The moment your reality shifts. Picture the day you open the door and find a sharply dressed federal officer standing before you, credentials out, a thick leather portfolio clasped against one arm, and a knowing, almost reverent look in their eyes. In a single breath, they'll confirm your identity, then gently usher you to sit, because the weight of what they're about to hand over might literally make your knees buckle. In that portfolio lies an entire new map of your life. Notarized lineage documents tracing your bloodline back through powerful visionary ancestors, certified deeds for income-producing buildings you never knew you owned, audited statements of brokerage accounts teeming with decades of compounding returns, and sealed court orders freezing every illicit dollar funneled away by the imposter who pretended to love you. From the moment your signature meets that first page, the paradigm you've called reality shifts. Imagine discovering that while you once clipped coupons to stretch a grocery budget, a family office in New York was quietly quadrupling your equity by timing global market cycles. Visualize the revelation that a boutique property management firm in Austin has been forwarding rent rolls of 6 figures annually into an escrow vault with your name on it, stockpiling because no verified recipient ever stepped forward. Each document you initial unlocks reservoirs of capital, municipal bond ladders, yielding tax-free income for life, renewable energy holdings spitting off quarterly dividend checks, an entire timber tract in Oregon sustainably managed, so its value grows alongside the forest it protects. And then there are the living, breathing connections. Cousins who built technology startups now listed on NASDAQ, eager to offer you board seats. An aunt who oversaw the family charitable foundation, ready to co-direct grants aimed at eradicating childhood hunger. Uncles who stewarded century-old vineyards in Northern California, reserving bottles of award-winning vintages with your initials embossed on the labels. You'll sit at their dinner tables, tables where conversations revolve around impact investing, legacy architecture, and philanthropic roadmaps, not survival or scarcity. They'll pass around photo albums and archival letters, images of your parents drafting mission statements for the trust, journal entries describing their hopes that one day our child or grandchild will ignite this abundance, for good, beyond wealth, influence, growth, and purpose. With the documentation comes immediate liquidity, backdated monthly distributions, compounded interest, and missed dividend disbursements, all wired into a freshly opened private bank account. Overnight, your credit score rockets. Not because credit bureaus changed their minds, but because the balance sheet beneath your name now reads like that of a Fortune 500 CFO. The anxiety that once tightened in your chest at every unexpected expense simply dissolves. Medical bills become a matter of hiring the best doctor, not of pleading with insurance. Car troubles are met with a new vehicle if repairs aren't worth the hassle. Rent worries vanish as you realize you now own the roof over your head, and perhaps half the street as well. Beyond personal comfort lies unprecedented influence. Wealth managers present customized impact portfolios, seeding clean water startups in drought regions, issuing scholarships for first-generation university students, fast-tracking research grants for rare disease cures. Attorneys outline strategic philanthropy vehicles, donor-advised funds, charitable remainder trusts, so your giving multiplies tax efficiently. Political advocacy firms discreetly inquire whether you'd like to back clean energy legislation in Congress or sponsor a think tank symposium on mental health policy. You quickly grasp that money, when wielded consciously, is less a trophy than a lever capable of lifting entire communities. Yet amid the exhilaration, justice continues grinding forward. Federal prosecutors finalize indictments, wire fraud counts, aggravated identity theft, conspiracy to obstruct interstate commerce, each carrying mandatory minimums that stack like bricks in a wall. Your imposter guardian appears in court in shackles, their fabricated narrative shredded by forensic accountants and handwriting experts. Banks that facilitated the laundering pay multi-million-dollar consent decrees, their CEOs issuing public apologies. Civil litigation proceeds in parallel. Punitive damage calculations include the emotional toll of lost years, the career opportunities forgone, the psychological distress of being gaslit and marginalized. Each settlement funnels additional resources into your trust structures, compounding the restitution into yet greater potential for good. Therapists, life coaches, and spiritual mentors, now within easy reach, help you process the whiplash of transition from budgeting every rupee to commanding an 8-figure net worth. From questioning your value to standing at the nexus of a dynastic mission, you begin envisioning a life crafted intentionally. Perhaps finishing that degree you postponed, launching a social enterprise incubator, or traveling the world to map ancestral roots in places you've only seen on crumpled black and white photographs. The options broaden like a sunrise over an endless horizon. Friends who once pitied your struggles will reel in amazement. Those who underestimated you will confront the magnitude of their misjudgment. But your perspective will have evolved. Validation no longer comes from proving doubters wrong, but from fulfilling a calling written into your DNA generations ago. You'll move with quiet confidence in rooms where power and influence converge, understanding that authenticity, not pretense, earns true respect. Mentors will be drawn to your humility, amplified by your newly discovered capabilities. In time, you may become a mentor yourself, showing how integrity and influence can coexist in harmony. As you embrace this expanded life, you might find yourself on a veranda in the evening overlooking one of your properties, perhaps a coastal villa, listening to the waves as you review strategic grant proposals. You'll raise a toast to the ancestors whose foresight brought you here, committing yourself to carry their legacy forward. Now, you understand your true assignment, not simply to live well, but to steward abundance in a way that resonates across generations. It all begins with that knock on the door, a herald of restitution, empowerment, and a destiny finally catching up to the one who was always meant to carry it forward. You. If this speaks to you, if something stirs within as you hear these words, don't ignore it. That is your confirmation. This is your moment. Subscribe to the channel now and join this growing community of visionaries, first-generation builders and soul-led leaders who know they were meant for more than mere survival. We are here to reclaim, to restore, and to rise together. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another message that speaks directly to your calling. Leave a comment if this resonates with you. If you're ready to step into the legacy that has always been yours, remember, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're becoming, and you don't have to do it alone anymore.